Hey everybody, Matthew Pillmore here. Welcome back to the VIP Financial Ed channel. Got a lot to cover with you, and the most important topic is how not to flunk a business. And guys, that is not clickbait. By the end of today's episode, not only are we going to tell you exactly what you need to be doing with your credit cards in order to start and run your businesses the right way, but I'm going to give you a bunch of golden nuggets throughout the course of today's episode. Now, I've got to go off on a rant during the first half. So I'm going to spend the first half of this episode a little bit pissed off. First and foremost, do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. That was a piece of advice given to me by a mentor a long time ago, and it's proven true ever since. I shared that piece of advice with somebody from the YouTube channel earlier today who stood me up during a free coaching session that was scheduled months ago and was confirmed twice. So that's frustrating. Here we are, it's evening time. I'm actually waiting for my better half, Kaz, as we call her. Her name is Kellyanne Zielinski, and she is one of the prominent self-leadership experts in the entire world and owns a company called Self-Leadership Global, and absolute stick of dynamite. Now, she's gonna be introduced many times on this channel because without her, I wouldn't be half the man I am. And that's something I just really like to emphasize coming into today's conversation is surrounding yourself with dependable people. If you're wondering why you're not achieving ultimate success, if you wonder why you're not hitting your potential, it's probably going to have something to do with you. Spoiler alert. So look internally, figure out, hey, am I actually somebody that can be relied on? Because that is a huge portion of success. Now, I want to just get that out of the way. If you're going to schedule with us, whether it be with me or anyone on my team, don't waste our time. If you go out and you start wasting the time of people who have achieved things that you ultimately want to achieve, nobody's going to want to help you out, okay? And that's what this is. It's a community. It's where we unite together in order to get social economic advancement one household at a time. Nonetheless, let's put the rant behind me and move into the meat and potatoes of today's conversation. Very exciting things happening. We went flying past 35,000 subscribers now. Thank you guys so much. Shout out to California. Guys, I see you, and I noticed that you're 15% of my audience. Thank you so much. We love California, Texas, New York, Georgia, all you guys. Huge following here on the channel. And I welcome everybody. So if this is your first time on the channel, let me explain what it is our channel teaches just very quickly, and I want to share with you very specifically who this channel is for and who it is not. Let's clear that up right away because the channel is not going to be for everybody. First and foremost, this channel is for people who have a strong financial foundation. If you have been managing your money in a very fiscally responsible manner, if you have at least $500 in minimum monthly cash flow, this is after all of your expenses are paid. That's an average, right? I mean, think about it. Fix and flippers, many months throughout the year are probably negative. Real estate professionals, real estate agents, many months throughout the year might be negative. It's all about the average cash flow exceeding $6,000 per year, which is $500 per month. That's required to really get something out of this channel. You've got to be coachable. You've got to be open to new ideas. You have to look at the old conventional or traditional way of managing money as bullshit. You got to look at the bank's rules as bullshit. You got to look at the educational system as bullshit. And if you feel those things in your heart of hearts and you've known for years or decades deep down intuitively that there's a better way of doing things, this channel is likely going to be for you. We talk all things banking and borrowing. We share many different strategic ways to maximize that cash flow level at the end of every single month. Now, if you are in a position where you don't have the cash flow, and that happens, it happens to all of us. If you are currently getting beat up on your credit, you're missing payments and you're in a position of hardship, I would probably refer you over to channels like Dave Ramsey, or Minority Mindset is a great channel, or Patrick Bet-David, really great channel, to really help you mastermind ideas to get yourself into a position of strength. Get those financial ducks in a row. Once you're there, the 202 version is what we teach. So stay tuned, stay plugged in, but people who are gonna really start to take advantage of what we teach on this channel immediately already have some financial strength to them. So now that we know who this channel is for and who it is not for, let me explain my day and how it's going to help you prevent flunking a business at some point because of a credit card. So I started a new business. I'm really excited about it. I haven't started a new business in a long time. I have several businesses that all run really seamlessly and they all do very well, and they're all with different partners. And this one is all on my own. This is an online business where we're going to be selling product. We came out with a video and we're starting to talk a little bit about this subject, which is how to create total geographical freedom where, yes, it requires work, but for those of us that are really entrepreneurial, creative minds, people that don't really care about retirement, but want to be able to go anywhere in the world at any time and stay as long as we want, this is a cool subject. And so we started one of these brands and it's called Back 5, okay? So you'll see this logo, there's gonna be this really cool font here, we've got this great brand coming. A few pointers that I'm picking up while starting a new business that I'm reminded of, having done this many times, that I know any of you who are in business today need to be keeping in mind. First of all, as you diversify your income, because the reason that we're opening this business is not because we need the income, but because we want to create many different streams of income. And this is a very cliche subject. Anybody who teaches about creating wealth is going to talk about income diversification. And that's why we're doing it. But we're also excited about sharing it with you because I want to prove to you that with very little, if any of your own money at all, you can get off that launching pad. And I'm doing 100% of this with a debt weapon, okay? So I'm using other people's money, just like someone like Robert Kiyosaki might teach you, in order to leverage into new income streams. And we're then going to take that leverage and pay it off in record time, completely free and clear, and then preserve the income stream month after month after month. And we think that within just a small number of months, we'll be able to get into the thousands per month income level. After a year or two, we plan to be in the tens of thousands of dollars per month income level. So we have a lot of optimism on this. And it's something that, because we haven't actually proven the income for ourselves yet, we want to minimize expenses. And that's one recommendation for you. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let me explain the first thing you need to think about if you're wanting to diversify income. My recommendation is do it based on something you love. Okay, whether you're working for somebody now or you already own a business and you're just looking for more streams of revenue, base it on something that you're passionate about. Again, super cliche. This is not new information. The only reason I'm sharing it and I'm passionate about sharing it is because I've lived it and experienced it. I lied to myself far too many times in order to find myself obligated and hating what I was doing. So unless you can determine that it's actually something you're super uber passionate about, where you're willing to make sacrifices for it, right? Like, let's say that you're obsessed with cooking, or let's say you're obsessed with music. You can find countless ways of making money that doesn't require you going out and being a chef for somebody else's restaurant and doing so where all of your other priorities are being met. So maybe you love cooking, but you don't want to be working for somebody, or you love cooking and you don't want to be stuck in one location. You could create a travel vlog where you're cooking on the road. You could create a blog where you're writing what your recipes are. You could create cookbooks. There are so many different ways online that you could market that. You could open up a food truck business and start scaling it out. Same thing with art and any other industry. I could come up with 4 or 5 different ways of making money doing it. For us, the passion came from having that geographical freedom, right? So for me, there's nothing more important than being able to go anywhere in the world at any given time I want and stay as long as I want. That to me is the absolute premium of financial independence without having to retire, because I don't want to retire. I want to keep working. I love helping people. I love the projects that we get into. So, number 1, be very passionate and love what you're getting into. Number 2, minimize your expenses up front. Prove the concept. Generate money and reinvest the money you're making back into the business. Yes, we rely on debt weapons. Yes, we can leverage other people's money into wealth, but why frivolously spend? You don't have to go out and create the domain and the company name through an entity, or go out and start spending money on branding until you start to make money, right? You can create a concept and you can start marketing that concept with very little, if any, money at all. And then you can start earning money. And once the money's coming in, then let's start to make it official. Let's go out and create the branding and register the entity, etc. So what I've done is I've jumped slightly ahead. Here's why. The proof of concept is already there. What we're doing is already all over the internet, and there are step-by-step systems in place that will allow this to happen. I went ahead and bought the domain, and I went ahead and bought and registered the entity. I also went ahead and ordered the branding. So I spent $12 on googledomains.com in order to get an annual subscription. So I got 12 months for that URL, and it's back5limited.com. You won't find anything there yet, but we do own the domain. Number 2 is we went ahead and registered the entity Back5 Ltd through the Colorado Secretary of State. So that is official as well. Can't wait. I'm so excited. Number 3, we went ahead and ordered the branding, which is outsourced through Fiverr. Unbelievable website, talk about it all the time. And they're gonna crush it. It's a $56, $57 investment. It'll be done within a matter of days. And guess what? It's going to have unlimited revisions and give us a copy of all the different file types so that we can use it on everything. Okay, so this is really neat. We're getting it off the ground quickly, and I've spent a total of $112. What I did was I used a debt weapon for that. So this is the third point I'm trying to make on today's training. First point, be passionate about what you do. Second point, prove concept and prove the market before you go out and spend much, if any, money at all. Point 3 is use a debt weapon for all of this, but you've got to do it the right way so that you don't flunk business during this. So this was the question that Jason M. posed. Shout out to you, Jason. Thank you very much for your comment. Guys, we love your comments below. So here is what Jason asked. He said there's some conflicting information on the channel regarding whether you can use the business debt weapon for personal expenses or use the personal debt weapon for business expenses. And the answer is yes, you absolutely can. Let me clarify. My response to Jason was this. The creditors and the lenders are generally never going to regulate what you're spending the money on. They might lend you a business credit card and you can use it for personal reasons, and the credit card company is not going to come to you and say, whoa, what is that? The IRS will. So the key to this entire video training, even though there were lots of different points I wanted to try and share with you today, is don't commingle this and screw yourself and put yourself at risk of massive penalties that can and will potentially put you out of business. Okay, so the key here is making sure that you have a specific account that is dedicated only to the business and a specific account that is dedicated only to personal expenses. If you have multiple businesses, there should be individual accounts for each business and one for your personal spending. So I don't use the same credit card for both personal and business. I might use a separate personal credit card for business expenses, but it's only for those business expenses. And I'm not gonna try to take tax deductions on anything that I would spend my money on that's only personally related. So the litmus test is this. If an IRS or legal individual agent of some kind was scrutinizing you for tax purposes or for legality reasons, would there be a clear picture? Is the roadmap clear? Is the paper trail understandable? Is this something they can walk in and look at without you standing behind them trying to explain it? And if not, don't be surprised if there are penalties. So to simplify and not create a bookkeeping nightmare for yourself or a bookkeeper or your accountant, keep the accounts separate. Take it from me. I have plenty of personal experience because most young or unseasoned business owners make the critical mistake of using this rewards account that they use for everything, for both personal and for business, and it just doesn't pay off in the long run. So again, isolate your credit card accounts and it'll create a very clear transaction history that anybody can look at, and you know that is this a business expense or this is a personal expense? When you pull out to pay, you're very deliberate about which account you're using. It is gonna pay off huge in the long run for you. So guys, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tolerating my rant, because I don't like to come on this channel and just whine and bitch, but sometimes I do, because there are things that are worth talking about and creating dialogue about and that are frustrating. And if, again, I could give you one piece of advice beyond making sure that your finances are orderly, do what you say you're gonna do when you say you're gonna do it. I appreciate all your time today, guys. Thank you so much. If you haven't done so already, I would certainly recommend at least considering subscribing if you see that this channel is a fit for you. If it's not, we wish you very good luck and we wish you well. Otherwise, if you like what we're doing here, go ahead and smash that like button. It helps us a lot in terms of our ranking with YouTube. Comment below too. We want to hear from you. Tell us your situation, tell us your story, tell us where you're confused, tell us other topics you want to hear about, any of that. I appreciate you guys so much. I can't say it enough. Until we see you on the next video, make it a great day today and take care.